Hello, playgrounders. Hello, everyone. This is a video talking about orbs, light leaks, images, things that appear on photographs. I know that a lot of people experience that. We have a lot of people posting those images in my Psychic Playground Facebook group. And I wanted to address that to give you an understanding and maybe some points of reflection and review so you can decide in your own mind about what they might be. So for a start, with orbs and picture, when I say orbs, you know, those little light blobs that appear in photographs. Now, there's a reason why we discourage posting those shots in the Psychic Playground Facebook group, and there's one reason, and that is because they are hard to prove what they are. It's hard to prove that it's evidence of the spirit world. And I know a lot of us, we really want that proof, don't we? We're dying for it. We want to see it because seeing is believing, and I certainly am in that group as well. When I first started my exploration of the spirit world 7 years ago now, in terms of mediumship and evidential mediumship, I want to prove, because that's what evidential mediumship is. It's proof. So I'm like, show me the orbs. I really want to see them because that's proof of the spirit world. Yes and no. Because there's a saying that we have here, before jumping to the supernatural, let's look at the natural. Before jumping to the paranormal, let's look at the normal. And unfortunately, with images, especially with modern iPhones, there can be light leaks. There can be all kinds of technical, real world reasons why we get this funny little blob of light on a photo. It has nothing to do with the spirit world. And so to be logical and not to be kind of like sucked in, we've got to not discount the fact that it could be that. And the thing with this work is that it's good to remain open-minded and a little bit skeptical of everything we see, because we can't prove it. And that's where this word evidential comes in. We can't actually prove that it is the spirit world. We can't prove that it's not the spirit world. So where do we end up? Here's a couple of guidelines, and I invite you to discuss it, ask questions, have a ponder, see what you think for yourself. Because there is such a thing as spirit photography. Absolutely, it does exist. I'm going to show you some examples very shortly. Spirit world can influence electronic devices. We all know that, don't we? We've had those experiences where the phone rings and it can be a phone call from someone that's actually passed, and you're looking at their phone and go, oh my God, this person's dead, or suddenly they turn up on Facebook, and the way we keep those Facebook accounts going for people that have passed, and you think, oh wow, spirit world has a wonderful way of communicating because they are intelligent. There isn't a supreme intelligence behind it, far more smart than we are. So you'll find that if there is something like that, there'll be an intelligence, there'll be something else to back it up. You will feel the presence of the spirit world. It's undeniable. There will be a feeling. Earlier today, we talked about this in my little membership group, the Psychic Academy. And one of the ladies there talked about how she snapped a shot of her grandma on the beach, and suddenly there was a willy wagtail in the photo, a real life one. But the willy wagtail was her personal symbol for someone very precious to her in the spirit world. It wasn't random. She chooses to believe that that was the spirit world influencing her. And who are we to deny that person's experience? It's the funky synchronicities. It's more than feathers and butterflies, okay? You'll feel the presence of the spirit world. There will be that funky synchronicity. It won't be a random blob of light, because that in itself is not evidential. It doesn't mean anything. However, there has been recorded cases of faces that are recognizable in the spirit world, and that is called spirit photography. It's not I can see faces, because we can see Jesus in a piece of toast and it doesn't mean anything. You look at the clouds, we can see faces up there. It's very subjective. This is actual faces that the recipient knows. All right, recognizable faces. Then maybe we've got something, okay? But it goes deeper, because for a spirit photograph to happen, it needs 1, the presence of the spirit world, and 2, a medium, because these things happen because the person being photographed is a medium, and I'm going to show you why. There's a tremendous collection of real spirit photographs in the museum in the Arthur Findlay College, which is like Hogwarts for psychics. In the UK, I've been lucky enough to travel there 3 times, and they've got a great museum of actual artifacts, and we've seen them firsthand. I have a digital representation of them now. This is Arthur Conan Doyle. Yes, Arthur Conan Doyle, the one from who wrote Sherlock Holmes. He was a medium himself and a staunch spiritualist, because he lost his first son, Kingsley, just after the First World War, and he got very, very interested in what spiritualism, like a lot of people turned to spiritualism and mediumship after the First World War because so many people died. He did too, and he brought his authorship, his scholarship to it, and set about proving it evidentially. So I'm going to show you a photo now. This is Sir Arthur Conan Doyle in the original plate, and this is a spirit photograph. Now it looks just like a blob here, but it's upside down, and it's a spirit person of his son. Now there's another one here too. I'm going to show you this one too. This one was his son Kingsley, and he writes a note on the bottom of it and said it was a photo of him about 7 years, looking 7 years younger than what he was when he passed. Now remember, he is a medium himself. So you need the power of the medium and the power of the spirit world to come together in a photo. The face is recognizable. It's not just a blob, it's recognizable. This is what we talk about, evidence. It's not just a light leak, it's actually a photo. Now, because of his staunch respect in the world, he was knighted, he was Sir Arthur, and his work and unceasing work at proving the spirit world and also debunking a lot of people that did do spirit photography as a bit of a hoax. He had the reputation to do that. He also wrote a book, and I'm going to share this with you now too. This is the book, and you can actually get it online. It is a very dusty old PDF, and it'll be very difficult to read, but you can read it. And you can see the photos for yourself if you choose to research this even more. But here's that word again, evidence. And this is the line of spiritual teachings that I have been lucky enough to study by my tutors. This is why we bang on about evidence so much, because we need to prove this work. We need to prove where our information comes from and that it actually relates to somebody that is in the spirit world that we knew. Because we get maligned so often. You know, it's hard enough for us psychics and mediums to get by in the world. We're getting enough fun made of us and taking advantage of, and people like to debunk us. We've got to stand up for what we believe in, and that means giving evidence. So this is why orbs, random blurry pictures of something that could be something, we can't really accept in my group, The Playground, nor should you when you see it. Keep an open mind, keep a slightly skeptical mind on that, okay? Because it could be anything. We can't prove it. It might be very real to you or to the person concerned, and I'm not taking that experience away from you. If it feels like it is your auntie and you feel the presence of the spirit world and you had the synchronicities and you just got the goosebumps, absolutely. That's your experience, and no doubt they are, because of course they want to be right where you are. Of course they do. But can we prove it? No. If it's just a white blob on a photograph on an iPhone, pretty hard to prove, okay? Keep an open mind, keep sensible, keep logical. Check the normal before the paranormal. Check the natural before the supernatural, and you will go far in your own personal and spiritual development, and you will raise your own discernment as well. So that's a brief little chat about why we don't accept orbs and photos like that in the playground, and hopefully you can generate some of your own discussion and ask your own questions. Please feel free to research that book. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle did wonderful things for the movement, the spiritualist movement in the 1920s and onwards. So thanks a lot for watching. Ciao.